Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Joker. How are you? So, I don't know what you were looking at, Joker, for so long because I got my Me6 notification that I'd gone live before I hit the go live button. Weird. Anyway, thanks for being here. You get an air grab for being first in the chat. So excited about today's painting. We're doing kind of our first portrait. Well, like directional. We've been doing this quite a bit, so we're doing this today. And today's inspiration is No Man's Sky inspired, but also paying a little homage to a fun joke we've had for a little while. Damash Smash, who is my SO, did like a accidental titling of a No Man's Sky stream as a Skyrim stream. And then to just linger the joke out, we titled a Skyrim stream No Man's Sky. And it's just created this fun little world of No Man's Skyrim. Hi, Biderek. Yay, portraits. Well, okay, so just like directionally. We're not going to make a person or a portrait of a creature today. We are going to explore Winterhold. And you know what we're going to put in the sky? We're going to put the space anomnoms. So we're doing a little mashup painting today. Yay, for silliness and fun. Why not? So this will be cool. Damash says, you're on mute. Break a leg. Hey, guys. You can't hear me? Oh, you're putting me on mute so that... Gotcha. I'm with you. Hi, Nemo10. Hey, everybody. Damash is in the house. Joker, Biderek, Nemo10. I love it. Thanks for being here. It's turning into a beautiful day where I am. So the sun is shining in. It's good. It's good. Had some PT today, so I'm a little sore, but not too bad. For today's painting, just per usual, we're using, well, not per usual. Today we're going to stick with acrylic paints, and we're going to hopefully have a canvas you can do this direction, and you want a cup of water for your brushes when you're done with them. You want a paper towel, per usual, and some kind of palette to squeeze your paint out on. I'm using this little plate today. And a bunch of colors. We're going to kind of, Winterhold is a very gray, stormy area, so we'll be using quite a bit of black and white and variations in between. We'll use some blue, and we might throw in a little purple right at the end, but our palette's pretty monochromatic again. Just because Winterhold is so gloomy and doomy. And that's all right. Oh, thought you'd go for flying Diplos. That would be cool. I want a flying Diplo. Like a Pegasus. Pegalo. Yeah, those tiny little mini Diplos that Damash discovered last night in his permadeath file, those would make a real cute portrait. I'm developing a, I want to do like a little creature portrait of some kind. And I'm gonna think the first one would be little Stevie. If you guys remember, there's just kind of a little squat parrot dude, and he's in the NMSA system. So I got to find him again and get a good picture. And then I want to do a cute little Stevie portrait. So that'll be one of our next ones. Pegalo. Yeah, like a Pegasus Diplo. Flying Diplo. I like it. Hey there, Damash. Don't mind this old gal's blindness. Why are you blind? What? Damash is putting me on mute, and Meow Meow's blindfolding herself and listening to me. So, yeah, it's, very architectural. Winterhold is super architectural, but the background is kind of run-of-the-mill what we've done in the past. So we're going to need kind of a grayish blue and some kind of sky color. This photo of Winterhold is daytime, but we're going to actually kind of make it nighttime. So I didn't see his comments at first. Yes. Cool. So hold on a second. Let me get my bad leg. Hold on, guys. So let's find some good colors here. We'll want some black and blue. I even have some silver I might throw in there today. White. Couple of different blues. I'm going to throw in some purple for good measure. Yeah. Oh, and we'll maybe want some green, some darkish green. Hi, Scottish Rod. Welcome. That's all right. You can lurk all you want. Bobby Demon Lemon, Bobby Demon Lemon, Bobby Demon Lemon, boom potato. How are you? Thank you for being here. Hola back. And BL. I have to say it all out. I have to. You know, there's certain people in your life that you have to say their full name out. There's a guy I went to college with. His name was Bobby Divine, and you couldn't just call him Bobby. You had to be like, "Hey, Bobby Divine, you want to help me with my homework," or whatever. There's some people you got to say both names. I got my bubbly. We are set, you guys. We are set up. So for our background, we want just kind of an ocean on the horizon behind Winterhold. So at night, that ocean's going to reflect any light sources that are out there. So we're going to do a nice, up in the sky, we'll have a white central moon. Maybe not super in the middle, maybe just offset a little bit. And we're going to have the Space Nom Nom. So the Space Nom Nom, since Winterhold is bigger on this side of the look at it, we'll put the Space Nom Nom offset to the other side. So Space Nom is going to be up here, and then we'll see the rest of Winterhold there. So Space Nom, Winterhold, and I'll do a little moon up here. I think that's how it'll go. And the spacing may change as we lay the paint down. But yeah, I'm just squirting my colors out on the palette. Hi, Galrack. Welcome. No Man Skyrim pick. Yes! You guessed correctly, Galrack. I think you were the one hoping for this, and I like to please. So I'm just getting some blue, some white, some black down so I can start mixing a little bit of like a nighttime sky, and also we'll have kind of a couple different colors of bluish gray. There's not a lot in there, so I don't know what we'll do with that. It's a light blue. Might not need it much. And some green. Because there are deciduous trees. No, carnivorous trees. Carnivorous? Not carnivorous. Carnivorous, right? Bobby Demon Lemon. Oh, Bobby Demon Lemon was in and out. He's in and out. Bye, Bobby Demon Lemon. Have fun. Ogre, thanks for dropping by. This is awesome. So whether or not you guys Oh, well, thanks for just stopping by to give the like. I appreciate that, Ogre. Yeah, remember, guys, if you're not painting with me now, you can paint later. You can rewatch these at another time when you have the materials ready to go. And what's nice is you can pause it. And then you can take your time with the steps and not feel rushed at all. So let's see. First, I'm just going to wet the canvas, get it a little bit lubricated. How was everybody's week? We're coming up to the weekend here. Some fun things going on in Game World Town, right? Ark just got a new update and it's broke. That's all right. So that frees me up. I was building a mansion, but the building mechanics are all wackadoo. So I will finish that later. I'll definitely give you guys like a tour if you'd like once the mansion is finished. But that frees me up to go make some gold in Red Dead. I'm trying to get enough gold to become a collector. It's going to be awesome. Coniferous. Yes, I got it right. Yeah, I think I missed a syllable. That's all right, Biterbeck. Smoosh that like, y'all. Thank you. Thank you, Melmo. So don't start in on that game right now. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, they just did an update, and I guess it depends on what version you're playing. You might not have as many problems, but we're playing Primitive Plus, and I guess it just fussed with a bunch of stuff broke. So I'm sure they'll fix it because it's pretty gnarly. Yeah, Meow Meow was like, great week for me to start streaming it. You know. We'll get it all sorted out. We'll get a combat update. So we lubed up our background, and I want to do up where my moon is going to go. I'm just going to do a little circle of white. I'm just going to give that background some bright coloration where that light source is going to come from. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle right now. I'm just putting this down for brightness and glowing qualities for the background. Once the moon goes on, that will kind of pulse out. You'll see when we start blending. So that white just kind of up in the upper right. And then like our horizon line of the water can be a little below center horizontally. So wherever you can, in your mind's eye, see that horizon line is, straight down from the moon, put just some little tornado shape of white right there. And we might have to reinvigorate that and make it wetter again in a minute, but for now that's going to do. I'm going to mix a little blue and black together and make a little bit darker blue. A little bit black goes a long way, you guys, so you mostly want your blue worked in to just a tiny bit of black. When you get a color that you kind of like, go ahead and I always use the stem to mix my paint, right? So here we go. I was just doing a tiny bit of black into my blue. It's mixed together kind of nice there. I like that color. And I'm going to wipe off the stem of my brush on my towel, and I'm going to rinse out the white that was on there. Just agitate it in the water on the bottom of the glass or whatever your water's in, and then press out the excess moisture on your paper towel. Then we're going to grab that blue on your freshly cleaned brush, same one. You want something medium to large so that, because we're doing our background, you can be very efficient. So we're going to just bring in this pretty blue, this dark color and fill in the space around that circle of white that you did. Don't touch it yet. Just kind of go around the outside of it for now. And then also you can, right above where you imagined your horizon line, put a good indicator there of where your skyline stops. And go around that white that you put down, fill it in with all the dark, deep blue color that you got. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. You might be doing this with crayon, and that's cool too. So with whatever you got, nice deep blue, fill that around. And then once you've got it kind of filled in, then you can start to intermingle with that white spot. And I'm using my brush strokes to kind of go in a circle. I'm twisting the brush, I'm twisting my wrist, and just slowly kind of blending that dark blue into the white we began with. And you're going to get a real pretty effect with that lightness radiating out. And that's why you need to have your wrist be really fluid and flex and turn the brush as you go. All right. And then if you're feeling like the dark is creeping in too much into the white, then just, you can rinse your brush. Get it good and agitated. I kind of squeeze the brush bristles onto the rim of the glass as I pull away so that I'm not soaking my paper towel super wet. You can squeeze some of that water back out into the glass if you do that. Then, so if I am hoping, I want my white to come back into this blend a little bit here. So I'm just going to get some fresh white on my clean brush and reinvigorate the white area. Oh man, that is so fun. I love it. Whew. So you got a nice dark spot there. Whoops, I'm just gonna grab a little white paint and see what happens. Yeah, so when this kind of just looks nice and pretty the way you like it, it's not totally perfect. Like if you can see right there, there's a little uneven spot. You know what? I'm gonna just let that dry. So then later when I do just put the moon down with a nice circle, we're gonna use our biscuit stamps again. That will get covered up. So I'm just gonna let that dry for now. I do want to, we're gonna switch to a medium brush. And using the dark blue that you mixed on this little medium brush and a little bit of white. So we've got two colors. I've got my deep blue and some white on the same brush, not mixed. I'm going to do a little bit of scumbling. Just to, I'm trying to leave a little spot here where we're going to put our Space Nom Nom. I'm trying to think if I want it a little higher up here. I don't want it to be totally even with the moon though, so I might wind up putting the Space Noms right here. So maybe do a little cloud cover, some low clouds, some low little scumbled in clouds by the ocean. And play. When you have two unmixed colors on a brush, play with how they don't mix. Scumbling is really fun with two unmixed colors on a brush because you get some really pretty stuff going on in the brush strokes. Scumble, scumble. Scumble, scumble. And then we'll do a little bit more of that. Maybe up here, just on the corner. And as you get closer to the moon, if you want to scumble with a little more white on your brush, because naturally if those clouds are closer to the moon, they're going to be picking up more light on that part of the cloud. And if you get a little too much of the dark colors will overtake light colors really quickly. So rinse your brush if you're getting overwhelmed and your clouds are darker than you want them to be. Go ahead and just grab just some plain white and you can scumble with that. It's still going to blend with the blue that hasn't dried yet on your background. Yeah, super cool and fun. And maybe just because I'm not sure, you know, the winter hold will come up and cover certain things in this area. I'm not sure what they'll be yet, or where exactly it will lie, but we can throw some clouds in over here just to balance things out. And we might see a little bit of these clouds later. They won't be pulling focus, but they'll just add to the environment. Pretty. Man, I really like this dark blue that we mixed. Hee hee. What are you guys laughing about? I love you guys are always laughing. It's my favorite thing about all of you. So mad at Arc. So mad at Arc right now. Yeah. Let's put a happy little tornado over here. A happy little tornado. Oxymoron right there. Yep. I have a strong urge to howl now. Joker. Are you aware, man? Mama 10 says, hee, feeling wolfy, are we, Joker? Wow, that looks awesome, Maddie. Thank you, Meow Meow. I'm so excited about this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let me brush this a little. Splattery. So now we're going to throw down some water here. And this is still pretty wet, actually, so that should be cool. But we're going to lighten, basically I want to lighten up the dark blue that we made for the sky. We're just going to add a little white into it and lighten it up a little bit. So I've got my little puddle of that blue that we made, and it's right next to my white. So I'm just going to kind of scoop some of my white right into it. And mix it in. We're pretty much done with that color in the sky, so I'm not even trying to save any of it right now. And if I do wind up needing a dark blue again later, I'll just make some more. And, you know, I'm even kind of grabbing a little bit extra of the blue because it's the ocean after all. And it's nighttime, so it's still going to be a dark ocean, but it is reflecting the light of the moon, so it won't be as dark as the sky. And because I'm using basically the same blue, just lightening it, it's going to look so pretty together. Wow, nice. You are fast. Well, thanks, Spiderback. So I'm going to switch back over to my larger size brush so we can be efficient. And you know, part of the reason I'm working so quickly and fast is also because you know, I'm not trying to be Michelangelo. I'm painting for fun, and I hope you are too. And the moment you start to stress and be like, you know, is this any good? Could I ever win like a county fair with this? You know, like, um, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, I suppose. I do it because it brings you to a place of here and now where you're not stressing about what you have to do tomorrow. You're not stressing about what happened yesterday. You can literally just be like, what paint do I want to put here? And it makes you, it can just calm your brain. It can calm your nerves because it's not life and death. And if you're making this into life and death, whoo, get some therapy. I totally believe in it, 100%. So so I'm going to stay away from the little happy tornado over here for the moment. Wow, it almost doesn't even look different from the top. We might need to lighten it up some more, and that's cool. I can kind of see where that horizon line is. I'm lightening up that blue a little bit more actually, because it does, you know, it catches the light of the moon, and we need to sort of see it for our purposes. My canvas had kind of dried up a little bit. So I just, I didn't even get more paint just then. I just picked up some water from my glass to kind of get this stuff flowing. And like that drip, I don't even care because I'm painting other stuff over it in a few minutes. So yeah, no big deal. I'm picking up a little bit darkness. I'm thinking the parts of the ocean that are farther from the moonlight can be a little darker. You know, and really the bottom 2 inches, you don't have to worry about right now. So we can just leave that more or less untouched with a dirty dry brush bottom. It's okay. Great. And so once we've got it mostly filled in, we can start to play with this happy little tornado. We'll be like Bill Paxton, or no, who was it? It wasn't Bill Paxton. Was it Sam Neill? Who's in that movie? Twister. You guys remember? I always get those two mixed up, actually. Bill Paxton and Sam Neill. I'm like, which one's which? Helen Hunt. I know that much. Great movie. Twister. Oh my God. One of my favorites, you guys. It's like my airbrushing. What appears on canvas is what was meant to appear. Exactly. Biederbeck. Bill. Yeah, it's Bill Paxton. I thought so. That's Bill is also Game Over Man, right? Game over. Game over, man. So good. You guys, I still have to show Dimash all of the Alien movies. I don't think he's seen them except for Prometheus. So I've got that kind of filled in. I'm just going to grab a tiny bit of white. See, I rinsed my brush and then I only put some paint right on the tips of those brushes. And I'm just going to kind of pass over the little tornado here with a little bit of white. I'm going to keep grabbing it as I go to blend that rippled moonlight reflection out. And it's great to have really uneven blends of the color. So some places the white's really going to stand out, other places it's going to blend with the color of the water. And the farther from the moon, the less of the bright, bright white you want. So up close, because this is pretty cool up close, you guys. See all the variation we have in there? Between like bright white and kind of blue. There you go. There we go. Super pretty. And then from a distance, it totally looks like moon reflection, right? Off the water. If you want to use your smaller brush and do little hints off in the more outer areas, you know, even especially towards the top horizon line, you can kind of give a little bit more of that white reflection blend. So maybe some just under the surface rocks out there that create a little bit of water agitation just from the wind lapping against small little tops of whatever's under the ocean there. Bits of Winterhold, really, because Winterhold fell into the ocean, right? So you can just create a little bit of interest in the rest of the water on both sides. And we will be putting Winterhold over all this, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It is not the subject of the painting. But it's looking good. What? OMG, that poor man. I know. It's such a classic, such classic films. And I feel so bad that he never saw them. Because it's like Sigourney Weaver in her underwear and like amazing things. Amazing things. The dialogue, the writing, the cat. Oh my God, there's a ginger cat in it. And he's not seen it? I'm like, what? He loves ginger kitties. Meow Meow Tens is loving it. Well, why? Thank you, Meow Meow. Yeah, this is super fun. What a great background. I'm loving how it's turned out. And we're going to throw Winterhold on here and the Space Gnome Gnomes, which this whole thing needs to dry a little bit more before we can kind of venture to those next steps. But we can prepare some mixing of colors. So what I want to do is mix a gray that we can use for the Space Nom Noms and the Winterhold structure. Batterbeck says Prometheus is a horrible intro to the Alien franchise. I agree completely, because it's ultimately very confusing for people who have seen the original. And yeah, you just kind of miss, I don't know, I feel like the importance of why Prometheus happens is lost if you haven't seen the first few, in my opinion. Let's talk about this while we're waiting for this to dry. You know, I loved the graphs that came out after Prometheus came out that were like trying to figure out the algorithm of how an alien is created and like how like the other iterations of Alien like happen and trying to make sense of it, but just how really much it doesn't make any sense. I think what the point they're trying to make is that whatever that black stuff is like a God particle or something, right? Where like whatever it touches is going to evolve into something or mutate in some way, but unpredictably so. I don't know. The shizzle nizzle. What's up, peeps? Prometheus was brilliant. I honestly, I enjoyed the movie. I really did enjoy the movie, but it just created more questions, and maybe that was on purpose so that they could, elongate the story and write more movies. And I love that kind of thing, expanding a universe. And I don't blame Hollywood because they're old and they're running out of ideas. But I like when things make sense. By Rick, yeah, it creates a setup for everything that comes after. The exploration of how they came to be isn't important. But that was what bothered me. I was like, I want to know more about those guys. But in a sense, it's just about chaos at that point, right? This exists and it creates chaos because you can't predict what it's going to do. And then, yeah, the timeline stuff is weird, right? So Prometheus is pre-alien? Am I getting that right, Briarback? I'm not sure. You guys know, though. I love that you guys are fans. That's awesome. Hey, Shiz, in reference to the original film. Yeah. Right. In the original film, it's not important how they got made. It's like, these things are trying to kill us. Let's kill them. So, yeah. And in many ways, so that's why Prometheus is so different, because Prometheus is more in-depth as far as what's going on, rather than it being just kind of a thriller where, that's what I think is so classic and simple about the first movies is Alien is all about running from one alien, right? But being enclosed in a space with it. So it's very scary because of that. Well, then Aliens, sort of the same thing, except there's more of them. And so they were thrillers. They were jump movies, and that's what the fun of it was. And then Prometheus is like, yeah, it's like kind of a more layered film with a lot going on and good characters, Yeah. And they made another one after Prometheus, right? Am I wrong about this? Or am I mixing a couple movies together? I'm trying to remember. Elenis, you meet the queen and see how awful they are in groups. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. They only come at night, mostly. Killer. I love it. All right, so I think this little area of my sky is pretty dry. So we're going to mix a bit of a gray. And so my puddle of dark blue that we made is pretty much gone. So I'm just going to use that same area. I'm going to push some of my black over here and push some of my white. Mostly white, because black goes a long way. And it's okay if some of that blue is in there, because it's just kind of a blue palette painting. But we'll get a nice gray going. I want it to be a little bit darker. Turns out I'm sort of making two different grays at the same time. That's nice. We can make some texture as we go. So I got a little lighter gray, a little darker gray, both mixed here. And wipe that off so you don't accidentally stick yourself in the face with it. Alien Covenant, that's right. Yeah. So Covenant was crazy too, right? And I love that actor. Can't think of his name, but so good, so good. I loved all the Alien movies. Push? Yeah, technical term. Push the like. Push the paint. Push it. I don't know. I like talking goofy. So we'll take kind of our small-ish medium brush and throw down the shape of our nom nom. Now, if the nom nom was close to a planet, I don't think it would be this big. We are suspending some of our disbelief here. You know, that Nada and Polo wanted to take a vacay, and they were like, let's go to medieval times. And in NMS, that can only be Tamriel. Yeah. Polo was like, I want a big old chicken wing. I want a turkey leg. I'm very silly today, guys. We're doing a silly painting, and so I'm feeling quite silly. The Shizzle Nizzle says, yeah, same. One of my favorites. Ever seen some alien paintings? Some dude called Tyler Stout. His paintings are cool. I will check those out. I feel like I've seen some incredible fan artwork of alien stuff. Very, very cool. I love your painting terms, Maddie. Well, thanks. So yeah, I just made a little circle. If you guys are nervous about circles, I freehanded this. This is not a bad circle, I would say. But again, you can use all kinds of things as a stamp or a stencil. I discovered the other day that I happened to have a free little toilet paper roll. I was teaching a private student, and I was like, I need a circle. This was right nearby. So this would be the perfect size for the space nom noms. So if you want a guideline, grab what's handy. Cool. Nom noms is set up. Pretty good circle. There we go. So much easier to make a perfect circle when you're looking at it straight on. So there we go. I'm going to let that dry. And now we're going to kind of lay out the outline of Winterhold, which I will definitely need my reference to do. So I'll just bring it up. Some of you guys didn't get to see what we're working from today. So this is an awesome picture of Winterhold, the School of Magic in Skyrim. And we're probably not going to do the whole thing. I think I'm going to do about this much, about half of that. Guys, I was an iPhone user for so long, and I'm really digging my Android phone, but I sometimes just feel like an old lady when I operate it. So using just the same gray, really, mix more if you've run out. We're going to put the bones of Winterhold down. And I'm thinking it's sort of like the biggest tall tower juts up from the horizon line, it's the main thing that comes above the horizon line. So that's going to come up about here. So we're basically kind of just painting a big rectangular box. And I'm using the shape of this brush to my advantage. This brush is one of my faves. It's just got a great, nice parallel, decent side. So the width of the brush is the width of the columns that frame this part of the tower that, you know, make it easy on yourself. If you have the right tool, the perfect width of something, just use that. It's great. And then let's see, so it kind of gets a little bit lower there. And see, that's why that cloud wasn't so important, you guys. I was like, we'll probably plane over it, but the parts that still show through are great. And then the back part of this big tower is all low. There's not 4 of these higher jutting. Oh, I kind of messed that up. That's all right. We'll just let it dry and maybe touch it up later. But yeah, so the little back part of the tower is more even with the lower bit that we just put down. Okay, so that's the highest tower of Winterhold so far. But that gives us a reference then for the rest of the building, which is great. So just a little ways in front is the next highest peak of the castle. So we'll focus on putting in the major towers and the kind of fence posts of the building, and then we'll inlay the rest. So this second tower, hello Moose! Welcome to the chat and to my painting tutorial. We're doing a funny mashup painting today. This is a No Man's Skyrim inspired painting. So we're doing Winterhold, and then the Space Anomnons is in the sky. Very silly. Moose, I don't know if you were around for when Dimash mistitled one of his No Man's Sky streams. He just thought he had changed the description, and he had only changed it in one spot. So very silly and fun today. And a little bit different. You know, how many times are we going to paint outer space? And, you know, I like to change it up a little bit, keep everything a little interesting. So this next tower actually has kind of holes, decorative holes in the top of the tower. So it's just above the horizon line, and just slightly set in front of this tower. Gosh, I'm now realizing that the reflection of the moon is going to get totally covered up, and it was one of my favorite parts, but that's all right. I'll find a way to, let's see, we'll just make this tower a little higher so that we don't lose all of it. Depending on your perspective, it won't be exactly the same. So let's see, we'll just do this tower more like right here. I made that way wider than I wanted. That's okay. And actually it works out because we're sort of seeing two sides of this. So there's part, and then there's like these little circles that you can see through. So I'm going to try to indicate those a little bit. I'm actually going to go through as one of my finishing touches and bring those more to the forefront. And that is actually like the entrance way. So there's like a little, I'll fill that in later. We won't be able to see the ocean through that, but that's the walkway through. So we'll probably make just a little bit darker of a gray to put in there. And from here, oh yeah, so there's like kind of big, longer windows right by the entryway there that see into the courtyard. Those are details. I'm kind of an impressionist painter, so I'm not worried about all the details. I'm more worried just about shape and color and form and depth. So yeah, I'm thinking we just really need to kind of throw the rest of the building on here. There's like the outermost edge of the, oh, that was too high. Oh, well, it's not perfect. That's all right. I'm no architect. And then lower, kind of alternating, very castle-like. It has those classic kind of alternating higher spots. A classic castle look. And I'm using a little bit of that darker gray that I made to help me see this part that juts out as the entryway. Yeah, so much of that moon reflection is gone, but that's okay, you guys. It wasn't the point of the painting. It was pretty. We learned something, right? But it's not the point. So if I were to do this again, and I really wanted to show more of the water and the light reflection, I would just move all of Winterhold down. I guess if you're a resident of Winterhold, that's not a funny joke at all. Because it fell into the ocean, you guys. Looks epic. Awesome. Thanks, Moose. So this is looking pretty good. And then there is, from that walkway, there is a bit of, you're familiar with the entryway to Winterhold. There's a long ways to walk up before you even get to the front door. So this sort of starts here, and there's a ramp down. And this is a snowy place. So when all these bones are laid down, we're going to come back through and dust it with some snow, which will be real fun. So yeah, it has a little landing, ramp down, and then kind of a long bit there that actually is a bit of a arched bridge, very subtly arched, not a heavy arch at all. And there's kind of a dais right here, like a circular roundabout. It goes down, and then another ramp down to another dais to that kind of first entryway where you have the magic test. But that is going to be off the edge of our canvas today. So not too much to worry about. If you want to put some little peekaboo holes down at the base of your foundation, they do kind of have some of those. In this archway, there are some kind of fence post medieval polka dot bits. And then all of this is attached to a big old rock, a big old craggy rock. And so we're going to throw down just the structure of this cliff. It's the parts that didn't fall into the ocean. So it's kind of like things broke away. And Winterhold sits on a chunk of land. So I'm just going to fill all this in with some dark gray, black, kind of whatever is down here. We will come back through with some snow. But I'm mostly going to just fill this in. I am going to leave where that archway was. We'll leave, that is like a land gap. So we'll leave the ocean showing through there. We might even spruce up some of the ocean down in that area so it's more interesting. But we can really fill in this bottom 2 inches that we left blank and just be black. So that's, I'm actually kind of starting with my grays up towards the castle, and then as it goes lower and farther from the light source, darkness. So really the bottom of your painting can be just a silhouette of black. I could use a bigger brush and this would go way faster, but I'm just gonna throw it on here. All sloppy. And even if there's like uneven glops of paint, you can leave them, let them dry that way. It's going to help add to that kind of craggy, rocky look. So yeah, for the edge of this craggy piece that Winterhold sits on, you want to make that inner edge look like a craggy rock. Okay, so right now it just looks like blah, but we're going to go in and give it some shapes and little bits of detail, and it's all going to come to life. And then this little craggy rock comes up, so we can make that edge right here kind of uneven and broken. Cool. So here's what we're working with so far. Pretty cool. Guys, I think, so this wall came out a little too far, I think. It probably should have only ended like here. Yeah, ish. Because that's part of the cragginess that Winterhold is sitting on. I built too big a castle. And so this is all a mistake right now. All that right there. And I'll just show you this. We've been wondering, how do you fix a mistake when it happens? So with acrylic paint, I'm just gonna let that dry. And then when I come back with some of my blues, I'm gonna have to mix another dark blue again because I'm out of it. And just kind of, as we're doing our finishing touches and zhuzhing up the painting, we'll go back over that and make it look better. But for now, I won't panic about it. Just let it dry. Acrylic is super forgiving that way. And that's one of the reasons I really enjoy working with acrylic paint. For sure, the globs give texture. Yeah, I love globby paint. Hiya, Michael Stapp. Welcome. I am doing well. Thanks for being here. We are having a fun painting today. Our No Man's Skyrim themed painting, little mashup painting. Galarak, missed about 15 minutes while putting kids to bed, but this looks great. Well, thanks. Yeah. It's kind of interesting to like go away and see what, come back and be like, whoa, it's totally different. we gonna go live there. Yeah, yeah, we are. Yeah, I would definitely like to live in a castle. My friend was house sitting for someone in LA who lived in this beautiful mansion, and it felt like a Tuscan castle. Oh, and it was very much fun to run around and see all the cool things. But sometimes you're kind of like, why does one person need all this? All right, so we're kind of waiting for some of this stuff to dry now, so we can come through again and do details. So let's go back up. The Space and Nom Nom has dried now, and I've got a little bit of a darker gray on my brush. So we want to give it some depth, some shape. The light source is sort of to the left and probably behind the Space Noms. So this side of the Space Noms will be brighter, lighter, and this side will be darker. So let's kind of give this side of the Space Nom a bit of that darker gray in almost a crescent shape. I'm having a little bit of a dry brushing effect going on too. So we're not soaked with paint on the brush. We're actually kind of having to work for this, give a little bit of pressure in order to get it to come off the brush. But I like that, especially when we're doing kind of a shadow. It's nice to have kind of a dry brushed effect. It's easier to sort of fade out when the paint isn't super saturated onto your brush. So check that out. It looks a little darker on camera than it does in real life. And if it gets too dark, just grab a little bit of a lighter grayish color and work it back in to the area. And if you think about how the space anomaly has grooves, little kind of, you know what I mean? Like there's also those bands that move around the space anomaly. So I'm going to attempt to kind of put a little bit of a band on there. I'm going to use one of my detail brushes though. One of my super small brushes. Teeny tiny. We're going to try that to make the kind of banding metal rings that swerve around the space zones. And they'll stand out because you want to choose a direction that's kind of opposite the brushstrokes that are there currently. Well, and right now the brushstrokes are going in sort of a circle. So the bands just are kind of a line breaking through that pattern. What do you guys think? I feel like because they're moving, that they definitely pick up some of that light. And maybe those bands are even a little lighter on the side that the moon is on. So I just grabbed a little bit. I didn't rinse my brush. I just dipped a little bit of that gray already on there and a tiny bit of white. Kind of found a clean place on my palette to sort of agitate the brush with and lighten up the gray that was already on it. And went back. Little slight touch just adds so much. I'm doing good. Just got off work. Excellent. Welcome home from work. I hope it wasn't too much of a grind. I'm great. Thanks. Great. Everybody's doing great. I'm so glad. The shizzle nizzle looking good. Thank you, shizzle. Yeah, cool. Next challenge, recreate a winter hold base in NMS. Oh my God, Galerac. I'm tempted. I just might do it now. Miterback, fantastic. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Yeah, awesome. And then, of course, very important is the entry to the Space Nom Nom. So it'll look a little bit Death Star-y after this, probably, but I want to do it kind of like there. Let's see. So it's a little tough to see, but in real life, it's a little easier to see. And since it's, you know, the light source is over here, it would have shadow on that side and light bouncing from this side. So I'm going to take just a tiny bit of black. This is the tiniest brush, you guys. Oh, it's so cute. Look how little it is. So a tiny bit of black just to touch that side of the nom door, the nom nom door. And then I'm going to rinse the brush now because I'm going to a light. I want some light reflection. I'm just going to grab a tiny bit of white and let that light bounce off this side. So now it pops even more, right? Yeah, I love it. Still here, just on mute. Oh, well, thanks for being here, Dimash. Even if you can't hear me, it's all right. You hear me all the time. It's probably a good break for you. It's looking so good, honey. Well, thank you. Well, thank you, Mr. Madfish. Cool. Good. So Space Nom's looking great. We got to get all this in ship shape. And our moon isn't quite there yet. We've just got the pulsating light of the moon, which is nice. And I want to fix my mistake. And it's pretty dry, so we really could go about it right now. So what I'll do is I got to mix a dark blue-gray again. And so you can kind of see there's my blue. It's being taken over by white and black. So somewhere in here, I'm going to try for a dark bluish. Nah, okay. I'm going to have to put another little bit of blue down. Not enough space for the right color. So yeah, just threw a little more blue on my plate next to the black on the other side of the white. And we're gonna mix that pretty dark blue we had again, or as close to it as we can. And if it's not the exact same color, it's totally fine. So using what we just mixed, I'm just gonna take it off of my horizon line there. And then try to sort of blend out this new color into the color from before. And then I have my cloud that I sort of scumbled in here, so I can sort of use the cloud to help me fill in. And then, you know, I can just bring this new color up into the sky as it is now. And it won't be so obvious that we've had to mix a new blue. If you have a nice clean edged brush, you can just roll right by your space noms and give it a nice, like even doing this is going to make that nom nom pop even more. My background kind of needed a second coat because I did so much lubrication with the water in the beginning that I could see the texture of the fabric of the canvas actually still showing through that first layer of background color. It can be a cool thing if that's what you want, but it can also look kind of like unfinished as well. You just got to know what you're going for. I did last night, I think like in the middle of the night, I very sleepily added the screen captures of the Alien multi-tool and the experimental multi-tool that Dimash had found in his permafile. Those screen caps with their glyphs are now in the Discord, and Dimash Smash Discord. And Meow 10, that purple nebula system that you liked so much, those glyphs are also up. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go back to, if you're looking for those cool multi-tools, those glyphs are available now. Hi, Magic Within. Thanks for jumping on, Mr. Madfish, right? You know, I'm Mrs. Smash. I mean, so, you know. So sweet. Triple dab. Hey there, Magic. Thank you, Hera 10. She's so on it with those Discord links. So I'm just kind of sprucing up this new sky color a little bit extra. This would also be good, like if any of your, I want to say turrets, but it's not what they are. They're just the cornerstones of your towers. If they're jutting up in a way that they, you know, your brush had uneven bristles at that moment, so you want to even them out. You know, this is a great technique to just kind of do touch-ups. Come back with a fresh background color and spruce everything up. Just a little. And what I did was I made the building too big because this archway, the top part of Winterhold that sits on the crag doesn't go beyond, you know, this little archway. So I've got to fix all that there. And so yeah, the sky's looking great now. You guys, that dark color, look how much it pops out the space nom nom and the clouds. Oh, that's beautiful. It's even popping the glow of the moon, making it very dramatic, which I love. I love drama. Not real drama, just dramatizing things. Is that a ruin? My potato internet is making the stream blurry. Regardless, looks nice for what I can see. Oh, thank you, Magic. It's not a ruin. Well, it's kind of a ruin because Winterhold, I don't know if you've played Skyrim, but we're doing a No Man's Skyrim mashup painting. So we got the space nom-noms in the sky, but this is Winterhold, the School of Magic, which, if you're familiar with the lore, some crazy magic experiment happened, and half of Winterhold sunk into the ocean. So it's kind of a ruin, but people do still go to magic school there. So yeah, I'm gonna erase that bit of the building still in the water that I don't want. And so I'm going to take that dark blue that I remixed right here and throw a little white into it. Maybe not all of it. I'm just gonna scoop up some of the white over here and move it with my brush to just lighten up that color. And I don't need a lot of it. I'm just trying to cover up that part of the building. So there's some chunky bits in my paint. Fortunately, I had a whole lot of old paint around to launch this project because what with current affairs, the paint aisle at almost every store is just cleaned out. So I'm going to have to use my friend who works for a craft store to I'm like, grab me that paint before you even put it on the shelf. So there we go. We can just shave off that part of the building that I overextended. And this color actually turned out pretty right on as far as blending with the rest of the ocean that we had put down. You know, and you can kind of blend it out with a little bit of that wiggly, watery liquid feeling. And without washing the brush, grab a tiny bit of white. You can sort of blend in some interest, ripply, ripply, ripply water feeling. Cool. Then we get some of that nice reflection that we totally covered up from the moon. It's still kind of coming out over the water, which is nice. And then, oh, down here too. Oh, what's going on? What's going on down here? So I'm actually using that ocean water color to make these little windows I left in the architecture, make them a little more significant and pop. and clean up the outline of them. So that's looking real good. Nice. So I'll give you a closer look at that. Wow, yeah, this is looking real good now. We're in ship shape. Our building's not too big. So see, guys, I totally screwed up. I made the building way bigger than it needed to be. And when we realized it, we didn't panic. We didn't, you know, I taught kids to paint for a long time. And there was one little girl who we were doing self-portraits, and she did the mouth and she didn't like the way it looked. So she took a brush with black paint and just did black all over the paint just because she got upset about this one little thing. And I'm, you know, in a class teaching 8 kids painting. It was literally, I turned my back for a second and she had just coated the whole thing in black paint. And I couldn't stop her to be like, no, just leave it alone. Let it dry. You know, it's just like a eraser. You can redo this. Oh, it was heartbreaking. And so just don't panic. Don't freak out. Some people feel like, you know, if you put paint in the wrong spot, it's the end of the world. It's really, really not, especially with acrylic. Let it dry. Don't panic. If there's a lot of excess paint, taking like a little nubbin of your paper towel to wipe away the excess so it dries faster so you can fix it sooner, that's okay. But, you know, don't do anything crazy rash. And yeah, you hear me. Don't be a kiddo. Don't be a kiddo about your little mistakes. Take a deep breath, let it dry, fix it later. Regardless, looks nice from what I can see. Oh, now I see it. Cool. They should add magic to NMS. I mean, yeah. There's a lot of science in NMS. But I mean, let's be real. Science is magic, right? Or ice cream, or being able to build with Fisham. Yeah, we have little dung huts. Our combat update, for crying out loud. Oh, Magic Within. It just wouldn't be a chat with you in it if we didn't hear about a combat update. Magic Within. I sometimes get all bent out of shape when I mess up one of my drawings or even writings. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it can be really frustrating. And, you know, it's one of those moments you got to start to practice your Zen, practice your moment of choosing how to react rather than just reacting. It's tough. It's a tough skill. Sometimes I get, oh, I already read that. Awesome. Even with writing too. I mean, unless you're like trying to make it like you're painting a Bible, like scribes from the Middle Ages, where if you messed up, it was probably, you know, hundreds of hours and lifetimes of work that you were screwing up. I wouldn't stress about it. So we've got the bones of Winterhold. Oh, I actually, before I move on from that ocean color, these are these little, I need a smaller brush. These little holes in the top of this tower. I gotta fix this shape, make it a little more like a porthole. One of them is a little more oval than the other because of how we're looking at it. And of course, didn't go quite right. That's fine. I wiped off a little bit of the excess with my finger instead of my paper towel. So it would dry real quick and I could just do a quick touch up as I'm going with some gray. Yeah. There we go. So I know it's a totally different color at gray. I'm going to be coming through and detailing some of, we're putting snow on top of Winterhold and things like that. So I'm not too concerned. I just wanted to get that nice circular shape of the being able to see through to the ocean. And since it is meant to blend with the rest of the ocean and we've got some bright light reflection going on, I do need to throw down just a hint, just a little bit of that white, that brightness. So it doesn't look like disconnected. It needs to look like, yeah, that's what's behind there. Some of that moonlight. Yeah. Good. So there's a lot of detailing we need to do now on Winterhold. And I think we'll start from this side and work our way over. So let me pull up my reference. It's really a lot of variations of gray and then the snow. So we're going to, so this part is a lighter gray than down here. And I want to leave that because more of that moonlight is probably spilling onto this tower. So we're just going to take one of our detail brushes and do a little bit of dark patterning, outlining of lines and shapes. There is kind of a circular adornment at the top of this tower. So we're going to hint at it, give a little circular shadowing. And there's kind of like some sort of pattern in there. But again, I'm doing this a little more impressionistically. So I'm just dry brushing a little bit of interest into that middle circle, but I'm not worrying too much about the actual design that I'm making. Then same, just we're using one of my teeny tiny brushes. It's almost so small you can't see. So super detail brush. And we're gonna kind of run some lines up and down this tower. Now, and some of you may have really like architectural minds, and maybe you want to be really detailed in how you put this down. That's totally fine. That's just not my style. I'm just a little more impressionistic, and that's just how I like to paint. So if you are more skilled than I, please take your time and do more and make it amazing. I'm just here for fun. So I'm just kind of giving some dry brushing texture in between these lines I'm giving, especially on this side of the tower, because I'm going to just say it's in a little bit more of shadow. And that the front face side might be getting a little more of the light reflecting off the ocean, and then the snow, any snow that's on the ground here, down in the court, the courtyard of Winterhold is down in here. It's coated with snow, so that is bouncing light up onto the face of this tower. Because the whole building is brick laid. So, if you wanted, you could go through and just detail paint every single little brick if you wanted. That's just not my style, you guys. So you may know what style of art you do already, and that's wonderful. And you may be discovering your art style right here, right now with me. because I don't want you to imitate me. I want you to see what comes out of your brush onto your canvas, because you already have a style and an aesthetic, and you might not think you're an artist, but you are. Your style is just maybe different from everyone else's. Architecture, me who plays Minecraft, the expert. Right on, cool. Art history and the history of decor was one of my favorite college courses that I took. And I am a big fan of Frank Lloyd Wright. So you kind of see that. And when I'm building in Minecraft, or I'm doing my first big build in Arc, I love using the terrain, using the environment that you're building in to almost incorporate it into your build and design. That's sort of like what I like. Gaudy, like really organic stuff. I appreciate more industrial, geometric, hardline designs. It's just not what I put out. I can appreciate it fully, but it's not what naturally comes out of my brush. What did Meow say? So how many shades of gray? Oh my God, I'm missing some silliness up here. What are you guys saying? I wonder, let's see. Is that the Death Star in the sky? My mouse pad. Oh, your mouse pad is still coming? Oh, you haven't gotten it yet, Magic? That's crazy. You should put a transmission tower or a starship somewhere to give it more of a sci-fi feel. May sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Joker. Like, did you guys ever see that blacker than black paint? That's like you paint the black and it looks like nothing. That stuff is so cool. There's also like electrical conducting paint. I love some of the videos I've seen on that, where you could like paint your wall, and so amazing. That stuff is magic. That's magic. Sometimes I'll bent out of shape. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm caught up. I find those are usually my best ones, the ones with mistakes. Yeah. My mouse fit. Okay, good. Good. Space anomaly or space station or moon. That's no moon. Oh, the space anomaly. Man, that looks great, Madfish. Thank you, Joker. I wonder if HG got the idea of the design of the space anomaly from the Death Star. I mean, I've noticed a lot of cool sci-fi inspiration in the game that I'm like, ah, I like that. I like that. That reminds me of Star Trek or Star Wars or Stargate, or, you know, there's tons of things in the realm of sci-fi that I think No Man's Sky, the artist must have been inspired by all these things. My reaction, 50? 50 what? Oh, 50 Shades of Grey. Well, so far, 16 and counting. Architecture, me who plays Minecraft. There we go. Has anyone actually read or saw 50 Shades? If you haven't, don't. Sometimes I wish God can just take away my ability to read. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry that wasn't your cup of tea. I'm more of a fantasy guy. Emily Dickinson is my favorite rapper. What? The weather is nice. Keep going if you need, and I will walk home. Oh, sweetie. Okay, well, I think we're going to be finishing up here pretty quick. Hi, Dimash. Can we get a Dimash face reveal when he gets home? Star Wars, Enemy Mine, Last Starfighter. Yeah, right, Beck. There's so many things that you're just like, oh, I know what that's from, you know? But what was one of the things that, it was like a technical thing that I was like, oh, that's totally Star Trek. I don't know. I'm still waiting for like gel packs to be a thing. Cool. So the courtyard, so this surrounding wall that surrounds the courtyard, because this is at the back of the building and it's the main building. I'm just going to kind of do the same thing where I'm going to outline the wall here. and sort of just add some lines, some interest, some texture. My style is super impressionistic, so I'm not being like detailed. I'm just indicating. Like, so I noticed that this part of the courtyard has kind of these bigger windows, openings that kind of look into the courtyard. And then this is a solid wall with another one of these circular decor on. So we'll give that a little spot right there. And I'm painting these windows as shadows because I might throw a little bit of snow near the bottom of them. So I'm kind of darkening up this whole second tower. So I'm thinking of actually highlighting the structure of the building with a lighter tone. So we really get some good depth on the whole structure. And we can't really see it anymore, but this is that ramp. And we're gonna highlight it a little bit with some snow. So I'm just giving myself, these are gonna be tough for you to see, guys, but I'm giving myself some shadowy guidelines of this pathway. So I know where that snow is gonna go. And that's the ramp that kind of goes away from us and we don't really see past what's going on over there. I'm kind of giving some shadow around these archways to make that pop even more. So up close, you may be able to see a little bit more of like the shadowing and texturing that I've thrown down. You know, and it's not pretty over here. This is where I'm saying, this is like my skill level, you guys. I'm just not much more skilled than that. And if you are, then please go to town and don't judge me because I'm not gonna. It's just my style and I'm proud of it. You know, you could, if you wanted, spend hours putting little bricks in. Here, I'm going to do a little bit of brickwork here. Just suggestive. Because maybe we do just see a little bit more detail because a little bit more light is hitting this area. Ooh, got a goober, paint goober. Kind of screwed things up there. That's all right. We'll fix it later. And you know, bricks get laid sort of offset. So if you do it, but you know, you can do a little bit extra if you like. Just a hint. It's kind of fun. And then, you know, just little tiny horizontal lines can, we've seen the brickwork here, and so it's little suggestive horizontals will sort of do the imagination the rest of the work, you know. So I just did little slight horizontal marks over here, and I don't have to do an entire bricked wall. We've seen it here, so you know the viewer of the painting's mind will do the rest of the work for you. And so I was talking about I darkened up this tower so that I could highlight, basically do the lining that I did over here with darker with a little bit lighter color. So let's see how that looks. You can hear now. Awesome. Grabbing a coffee and headed home. It looks so good, man. Thanks, honey. Okay, if it starts to rain, I'm just going to shut this down and come get you. Thanks, honey. All it needs now is a couple of sentinels and a walker guarding the place. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to picture Dimash walking home, but the musical version. That's hilarious because he hates musicals. So it'd be pretty amazing. F your Mickey Mouse. What? Oh my God. Enemy mine. You want to see my ugly mug? Yes, we do. Dimash, Enemy Mine. That's one of Dimash's favorite movies. It's pretty great. I'm blown away, Maddie. Wonderful work there. Thanks, Spiderbeck. Where in the world is my RGB mouse pad? Ah, my stuffed animals need a little dance floor. Cute. Your mother mates out of season. Oh, that's from Enemy Mine. Yeah. I'm in a picture. Okay. And all it needs now is a couple of okay, I saw that. Thank you guys. Hashtag face reveal. Song bin. My head to Dimash's walk home. Staying alive. Dimash. And I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more. You guys. All right, so I'm just going to highlight the top of this tower with a little bit lighter gray because this tower is more in the darkness, so the light reflection would be off of the details. So that's kind of what I'm going for here. Just a little bit of snow reflecting light. I think especially like on the tippy tops of these little towers, a little bit of light reflecting. It's kind of cool. So yeah, this is that little platform going through that walkway down this ramp. And I'm putting a kind of a major bit of reflection there because the moonlight would be coming and streaming through that little entryway, right? Maybe? And bounce off the ledge. And it helps us kind of see the pathway in the painting. With very little paint on my brush, I'm just adding a little bit of highlighting here for the same reason, that moonlight streaming through and just giving us a hint of light reflection on these craggy rocks down here. So up close, that's what that looks like. And see how we're just kind of highlighting now the structure. And since it's the darker part of the building, it's away from the light source, using the light reflection to highlight the structures, it's super effective, right? Do you see that? Pretty cool. It looks like we need just a little bit more of this. Like the moonlight would probably bounce off the ocean too, so you might do a little highlighting underneath here. Just a little bit. Not significant. I'm using extremely light pressure. I'm not pressing hard. I don't have a super soaked paint all over the bristles. So it's sort of dry brushing. It's a great effect. I'm kind of just doing a little bit of it all along this craggy edge where the building comes out of the rock, because there is snow almost all over this building, except where it couldn't stick because it's kind of hanging over. So that snow is bouncing light, and I want it to kind of bounce up on that first inch of the building. So what I want to do next is go through and actually put down some snow. So using my detail brush, same one we've been using, but just plain white. And I'm going to use my reference just to kind of see where the snow has fallen and stuck and probably frozen into ice. You know, so it's definitely on the pathway. There's icicles, kind of melted snow, melting and freezing, like lots of different places on here. So I'll start over here. We'll work our way this way. There is a bunch of snow on the back of this crag that's out in the ocean. So there's probably some coming around the edge of the building and goes to the edge of things. So then this is sort of a, if you imagine the earth fell away from here, this is super chunked up rocky area. So there's going to be little cracks that have snow in them, but it's mostly kind of rock that is underneath. So you might have like a little, you could do some kind of frozen stalactite snow look. Get a few of those going. And those are actually going to look better with more paint on your brush, not the dry brushing technique. We want to be a little more specific if we're making those. They're not stalactites, but they're not even that. What are they called? Icicles. Oh my God, I couldn't think of that word. Hello Games just made a Reddit page. They did. Okay, cool. We'll have to check that out. You know, and so there's lots of icy, snowiness going on down here. There almost looks like someone with a mini chins. So, you know, you can kind of, and it's organic. Rocks are organic, so it doesn't have to be even picture perfect, just rocky looking. And maybe some more icicles. So for the icicle look, I'm kind of doing a baseline of where all the icicles are going to come from, and then bringing it down like a curtain, and try to do various lengths as you go. Yeah. So there's quite a bit of snow piled up against the castle wall here and here. You kind of pile it up there, and it sort of scoots its way along the building to like kind of where that ramp starts. And then it drops off, because this is a drop off, right? A cliff. So we might get some icicles here. Maybe here. And this big snowy drift stuff just it pours over this ledge right here. There's a lot of icicles coming off up here. A lot. Big clusters, big chunks, kind of cascading chunks. So what I mean by cascading is this little chunk comes here, and then there's one coming down from it. So if you imagine, if this water falls, it melts and then freezes, and then melts and then freezes. So it's sort of coming down whatever little rocky chunks are there. And those cracks just get filled in with snow. Nice. So each tier that those icicles are falling down is kind of filled up with snow. And it's all very organic, you guys. You don't have to place all this exactly where I am. You know, if your castle might be bigger or smaller than mine, so you really can choose how it all comes together. You know. Yeah, just dusty snow. Now, over here, there's way more snow over here. So if you want, you can even switch to a bigger brush. If you have any of these wiry brushes, I'm just going to show you another technique. Super wiry bristles here. These kinds of brushes are great for if you put a little paint on there. Don't go straight to the canvas. You get the paint on there, and then using a dry spot on your palette, or I'm going to just use my paper towel because it's convenient. I'm just going to dab off some of that, but I can then go with most of that paint off and come through in an area that's supposed to have a lot more snow and do precisely that, just kind of tapping. This is good for like a foamy sea or whatever. But we're using it to kind of just give more super snowed on looking area. Cool. And then if you wanted to like, you could do some icicles. The icicles on this part, after your little arched walkway, they're all coming off the building itself. So we'll do some more icicles coming off the tower. And they're almost along the whole way, so you can just kind of sparse these around and put them where you think they ought to go, where you want your happy little icicles to be. You know, they're up there figuring out whose head they're gonna fall into. Just happy little icicles. Just a little callback to our happy little tornado. Now, the pathway looks pretty snowy. So I'm going to go ahead and give it what's in the picture. And this pathway, it's definitely slippery. Careful, black ice. The slanted areas don't seem to have any icicles. So I'm not going to put any icicles coming off the ramp, the two slanted parts of the path. Doing a little scumbling over in here. And it looks like I just need to do a little more icicles on the top of the building. Give me my picture back. There's actually not a lot up near the top. It's probably that's where it gets warmed the most by the sun during the day. So you're getting less of that melting and freezing effect. Whereas this part of the building that's in shadow, it's definitely going to have a lot more frozen activity. I want these snowdrifts to be bigger piles up against the building here. But yeah, so if you're gonna do a couple of icicles up at the top, they have them here. Here. And then right on this ledge. Pretty. Not really seeing any other little bits of snow other than like this tiny bit that's kind of in the courtyard. I'm not going to make too big a deal of it because it's in the courtyard. It's not important. Any other spots? Let's see. The tops of these might have a little snow on there. Boop. And you know, I thought we were going to do some coniferous trees, and I think we will. We'll throw one in here because I said I would. I've got a tiny bit of green here, but I want to mix it with my dark blue. So I'm going to make a dark blue teal. So that dark blue that we mixed, I'm just taking a little bit of my green and a little bit of that dark blue. I'm going to mix them together. And we'll do a quick little tree and cover it in snow and be done so. Oh, we have to do the moon. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, so if you want to throw a tree in here, there's really kind of just one that we have in this painting. It's a coniferous tree, so I just do a line. Boom. And then I do little, what would you call this? It's like kind of a smirk. It's like just pulling the paint away from that middle trunk that you made. And kind of it kind of flips out. And there's only one really that I can see in the picture, but let's do a couple more because they're so cute. And I love me some evergreens, especially when they're covered in snow. So pretty. So we're going to do the moon, let these dry, and then we'll come back and put a little dusting of snow on these. It just adds to the wintry scene. And because this corner of the painting, our subjects are here and here. And so this little corner got a little ignored. We have a beautiful moon here. So just some trees or some bushes, some flowers, anything of interest to put into an area that like just maybe didn't get enough attention when they were a kid. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. It helps bring the eye to the focus of the painting by having things that don't draw a lot of attention but fill in space. So you aren't attracted to this obvious chunk of, wow, that's a lot of the same thing going on. So we broke that up. We threw in a couple trees, and we've been waiting to do the moon so patiently, waiting for that to dry. And so we'll check out our biscuit cutters and see what one is going to be the right size. I think maybe this one. Maybe a little smaller. It's almost too small. That's actually just about right. So I'm going to paint the edge of this with white. Because circles can be intimidating, and we might as well, rather than fuss with it forever and keep having to make it bigger or keep having to fix it and cover it with sky color and remix your sky color 1,000 times to get it perfect, I like to just find the right tool. Dang, that transformed quickly. Well, thanks, Meow Meow. Yeah. Where do you live again, Meow Meow? Not something you ask people on the internet, I don't think. All it needs now is a couple of, there we go. I can hear now. I went too far. Hello Games did a Reddit page. I think that was the last thing I saw. There's nothing on it though. Interesting. Meow 10 says, I love snow. Magic says, got none of it over here in New Jersey over the winter. Aw, sorry. Meow 10 says, we have tons of it every year. Where do you live again? Murder makes icicles happy. Exactly, Miterbeck. I mean, if I were an icicle, it's all you could really hope for, right? Or, you could hope to get broken off and sucked on. Gotta go. Bye, everyone. Looks great so far. Thanks, Magic. Thanks for coming by. I hope your mouse pad shows up soon. Mema had to step away for a minute. Central time. That's all you need to tell him. I'm out. Dang, that transformed. Yeah. 30 minutes away. Oh, sweetheart. I'm coming. Okay, I'm going to finish this moon and I'm coming to get you. Miterbeck's like, oh, was that because of my inappropriate icicle joke? I was pretty proud of it. All right, so we got our paint on there, and we're going to Just try to put it in a nice spot. And before I pull away or move it, I just kind of try to equalize the pressure. Do a little, And then we have a great outline to follow for this moon. And the reason we did what we did to the background before we put on the moon is because that blending thing, if we were trying to make the singular moon and blend at the same time, it would be pretty difficult because we want a nice clean line. So now we can sort of follow with the edge of our brush, go around that guideline that we made for ourselves. Yes, little lucky icicle. Very meow meow. Dimash. Did you miss the whole part about me walking home? I'm 30 minutes away walking home. No, I didn't miss it. I'm just saying I could beat you and I could find you. I got mixed in with a different color there. That's all right. I mean, the moon isn't all just one color anyway. So if you mix in a little bit with something else, that's all right. I wound up with a little bit of a blue tint on the brush. And I'm sorry, guys, I have to look at it straight on to be able to get that perfect circle. Cool, so we've got our moon. It's all right. I think it's a little oblong, a little not quite perfect circle. Even though we used our stamp, I think I sort of pushed the paint a little outside of the stamp. That's okay. Let's try to fix it a little bit. What is happening? Why aren't you circular? All right, that's good enough. It's really bothering me. But we got it. That's pretty dang circular. And we've got this beautiful glow radiating out from it. And if you'd like to, you can kind of grab some whites and gray on your brush unmixed together. And just do, you can do some cratering. And if those craters are a little too dark, just take a little bit more of your white on a clean brush if you like. And blend out it's not as dramatically dark. I even got a little kind of a bright classic blue on there. So we've got some cool like cratery action going on in the moon. I feel like my craters got a little overboard, and I don't have any good clean white on my palette. So I'm gonna squeeze a little bit out and use a brand new brush to highlight those craters. I don't want so much of them standing out. So just going back through with some fresh white on a fresh brush back over those craters because they darkened up the moon a little too much. This is a big, bright, like full moon. Oh, as Joker would say. Yeah, there we go. So now those craters are there, but they're not taking over the light source. We've got a little more of a good balance. There. Yeah, I like that so much better. And then our little space nom-noms over there. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. That's our painting, you guys. One last thing. Whoops. We got to put a little bit of snow on those trees. Down here. So it's going to actually make those trees harder to see, but that's the thing, right? This is a winter scene. So, and they're not the focus. If people see these trees, then good for them, but it's not, not the reason we did it in the first place. Yeah, so those turned out great. I'll go show you close up. My 3 little trees down there, you can kind of see them. They break up that area, so it's not all just one moshy, snowy thing. So there you go, guys. No Man's Skyrim themed painting in the bank. Thank you for being here, everybody, and hanging out with me while we worked on it. Thanks, Mammoth 10. Joker says, holy shit. Oh, dang. Cool. Thanks. I like that compliment. Spiderback, you keep walking. Gonna grab some glyphs. Wait, why aren't you circular? It's nice, I guess, apart from... I love watching paintings take shape. It gives one a sense of peace. Love it. Awesome job. Thanks. She's going to beat you, Dimash. Well, getting some fresh air before your evening of excitement and streaming begins is a great thing. 2 miles, I think. I will find him. I know, our town isn't very big, you guys. I probably could go out the door and find him right now. Oh, what did I just do? I just, like, what? Cast Studio. No. Magnificent. listened. Amazing, Maddie. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much. This was a great idea. Galerac, I think, was insistent that I try and do something like this. And I'm really glad I did. This was a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do some more mashups. Who knows? Woe Man Sky, Woe Man is supposed to be, you know, kind of a No Man's Sky inspired thing. But maybe Thursdays are No Man's Sky, and then I could do another painting, another day of the week, and change it up, do some other games. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Hop in the Discord and post pictures for inspiration from No Man's Sky, if you like, in my NMS screenshots. And I posted a real, I'm not sure if I posted it yet, but there's a really cute multi-tool I found. It's just a C class, but I just started my perma, and so has a few more slots that I want to get that. It's purple and green. So meow meow, look for that. You might like it. NMS with boobs. Hey, we could do one of those boob haulers. You know what I'm talking about? Boob shuttle, boob wings, booby wings. Really enjoy watching you create. Thanks, Meow Meow 10. Galeric says it's all down to Dimash and his video titles, really. Yeah. True that. Smash ups. Ha ha ha. Yeah. That's a great thing. I could do painted smash ups. Oh, right on. Baller holler. Yeah. You know the ones. Well, cool. I hope you are having a wonderful day, and tune in tonight for more Permadeath with Dimash at 8. I'll be in the comments. I'd love to see you there. And I gotta go pick him up before it torrentially rains. It might not. You never know in this part of the country. So, boob holler. Right on. Well, again, thank you guys. I'm gonna let you go now. 3 TLCSs. Awesome. Take care. Bye-bye now.